Thank you, Ryan, for everything.
Oh, no problem, Kit.
Getting ready and as we go through this today.
No
Yes,
problem.
thank you. It's so nice to see you guys. So I just see Ryan and
Elaine has just come on, but we don't see her yet.
Zane and Glenn will be here too. I'm Charmaine. Hi. So are you freshmen or sophomores or?
So my name is Ryan Sam. I'm the student life assistant. I'm the department assistant for the Office for Student Activities.
Oh, okay.
And we basically work with the college campus for their student government, all the student clubs, and the student related events.
I
And
see.
we're just happy to have you folks here. And I'll be administrating the content and screen sharing for Kit. And then I'll also be recording the session so we can upload this to YouTube later on.
Okay. Thanks so much, Ryan.
Oh,
Hi,
no problem.
everybody. I just wanted to pop in and say hi. Hi, Kit. Oh, I love your mask. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Hi, Ate. How are you guys?
Mabuti naman. I'm so glad, like I said, you don't call me Manang.
No, I know. That's definitely not the preferred pronoun or anything. Cool. Hi to our students. I'm doing good. I mean, I'm glad that we had a short week, but even with a short week, it's a long week because there's just work, you know?
Yeah.
And especially considering that it's just the start of our semester is just going to get more crazy. So I'm just really glad that we could all get together and just serve our students this way, especially with the very important election coming up. And I just want to say hi to our students, and thank y'all for like taking the time to learn about this important content that I hope and I know that you will share with your folks who can vote. I really like the meeting we had with Kit and talking about like practicing our personal power through political action. So, you know, I'm just really excited to see what we could do here and to see how many people we could get registered. This is like the first time for me to do something like this in like the voting space. So I'm just really excited to see what's going to happen. And I know Ryan's going to be an amazing support for y'all. And hopefully we could get all like the promo flyers out today. If we could get
the logos from us, right?
But,
we're holding it up. Right?
But we'll be good. And I'm just going to be like in the dark. Then I just got to jet out to my next meeting. But I just wanted to just let you know how much I appreciate y'all being here today with us.
Oh, Alvin, thank you so much. We really, really appreciate it.
The support is amazing, and your enthusiasm. Just appreciate the college supporting the activity, and you in particular making it, and Ryan making it happen. So
yeah, especially in this virtual space, right? So
yeah. So it's the first time for us in the virtual space.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, and I know how challenging it's going to be. So I think today we just practice whatever y'all have to present. And I think Ryan will be, I asked Ryan to help like kind of give kind of suggestions on how we could possibly tighten it up for when we do have like live tutorials with folks. Cause I know this may be the first time we've ever done this. So there might be some things that we need to smooth over, but you know, that's okay.
I expect there will be
Yeah.
that we'll all learn out of this.
Yes. So whenever y'all are ready, please do your thing.
Thank you again for the amazing support and enthusiasm. And I also want to thank Pia, who's not here, but has been the person the last 2 years that has supported us in coming into the library to register students in person. So I'm Kit Durgan.
And I'm Charmaine Messina.
And we're volunteers with San Francisco Peninsula People Power, which is a nonpartisan grassroots civil rights organization associated with the ACLU, American Civil Liberties Union. We focus on expanding and strengthening voting rights and participation, and also supporting immigrant rights. So today is September 11, and it's 10 days before the National Voter Registration Day, which is a week from Tuesday, September 22nd. It's a national holiday celebrating our democracy and our right to vote. And at the exact same time on that day, thousands of volunteers across the country will be registering voters in person, online, at the same time. And so today is a dry run for Skyline College, but it's also a dry run for National Voter Registration Day. And I want to start by showing a clip from a video of University of Miami students who are actually talking about why they vote before we get into registering to vote. So Ryan, could you show that film now?
Because that's our way of expressing our public opinion. Like, if we feel passionate about an issue, support this, we support a certain person who does support this or doesn't support this. That's just the chance where we as citizens get to express our views to the government and to different like referendums and policies that are being implemented in society.
Voting and civic engagement affects not only you and your own decisions in your own life, but it also affects those around you, whether it's your neighbor, your sister, your mom, your dad. Like, it affects everyone around you, not just yourself.
As like individuals, voting is the easiest way that we have to get involved in our government and our democracy, and not doing it kind of hurts the democracy as a whole.
We're like the next generation of people, and we're gonna have to live with the choices that our officials make right now. So it's important that young people vote because we're the future.
Whatever leader does get elected is going to be their future. Like, whatever they decide, that leader decides to do, is going to be the young people's future. So that is important.
Important because that's our way of expressing our public opinion. Like, if we feel passionate about an issue, that's how we get to show, okay, we support.
Charmaine?
Okay. So those are reasons that other people have talked about as far as voting. And I was hoping that perhaps Zane and Elaine and Ryan and Glenn might be able to share their reasons for voting, if you feel like it. Anyone? So I guess no one's able to share right now. Well, let me go on then. By taking the first step today in registering, you're taking the first step to make your voices heard on which laws are passed, how taxes are spent, and which communities are heard. We live in California, one of the most diverse states in the country, but in previous elections, it's been white people deciding for communities of color and older voters making decisions for the young. But the good news is that things are changing. As of September 9, California's registered a record 21 million voters, and 2/3 of the new registrations are millennials or Gen Y born after 1996. So now you Gen Zers have to get in there. But again, registering today is a first step. It's estimated that only 78% of those registered to vote actually vote. In the 2018 primary and general elections in San Mateo County, there was very low eligible voter turnout in Daly City, Colma, and South San Francisco. But if we all vote and talk to our friends, our neighbors, our relatives, anyone we know about how important it is to register and to vote, we can make sure we can change that. So Kit?
So let's get on with it. Let's register to vote. If everybody can, what you need to have in order to register online, which I think based on what Alvin told me you do have, is your California driver's license or California ID plus the last 4 digits of your social security number. Does everybody have that information available? I see 1 thumbs up, 2 thumbs up.
Yes.
Great. Well, then let's go to smcvote.org. And you will see there if you go down to the bottom of the page, you'll see some red boxes, and there's one that says register to vote. So click on that, please. And it's going to take you through a series of questions. Did everybody find it? If you didn't find it, will you say so? Speak up. Yeah, there we go. Great. So you see here that you can pick one of 9 languages, and that will determine your ballot, what language your ballot is in. And then when you're ready, click on register to vote now. Now, notice right below that, it says that individuals 16 and 17 can pre-register. So those people 16 and 17 won't be able to vote in the election on November 3rd, 2020, but you'll be able to vote in the future. And if you pre-register now, then you won't ever have to think about it again. It'll just happen when you're 18. You'll be on the voter rolls and you'll get a ballot for whatever the election is next. So let's go to the top one, register to vote. Is everybody 18 or more? Okay, hearing no, I will go on. So your first question is, you can see there, please answer it. Is everybody on their own screen? So you're actually registering. Great. Okay, Ryan, you want to move on to the next one? I guess you're going to have to fill one out. Yeah.
So, Kit, I'll take you as far as I can, but I'm already registered to vote.
Yeah.
So
Right.
yeah, it's gonna go as far as it will let me.
Yeah. Okay. Please feel free to ask any questions. This is a time where, I mean, we're doing it together so that can answer any questions that come up.
Nice name.
Our mascot is Trojan.
I gathered.
Okay, yeah, at this point, I guess it's
You're
just,
not going to be able to go any further.
yeah, I think I'll just keep showing
Right.
scrolling the screen so the recording has it. But
Great.
basically what Kit was showing us is you would fill all this out. Of course, this as well. Language preference. So if I spoke another language that wasn't there, for example, Lao, so put that in. Address, of course, it's gonna find you.
Okay, now address is one where a lot of students usually have questions. So, you know, you might be living in a place that you consider temporary, or you might be living at home but don't always expect to be at home. The key is where will you be living when you vote on November 3rd? And so that's the street address that you ought to put in, because that determines which ballot will be sent to you. So for instance, if you're living in Oakland, you would get a different ballot than if you're living in San Bruno or anywhere else in San Mateo County. And there is a place for your mailing address in case your street address is different than your mailing address. And another thing that happens, particularly now, because people are in so much turmoil and transition and whatever you want to call it, that they don't have a regular place they're living, you can put an intersection, like 2 streets, where you are, whether if you're in a van or an apartment that doesn't have a address or whatever. And then your mailing address would be wherever you get your mail. But your street address is very important. Your actual address where you live is important because of the ballot that you'll receive. Any questions about that? The next question about political party is also one that often comes up. So if you identify a political party, it means that you will get to vote in that political party's primary. That's not gonna be, I mean, the primary's already passed for the November 3rd election, but in the future, that would allow you to vote in that party's primary. Now, in both the case of the address and the party, you can re-register anytime to change your address, to change your party affiliation, or to not have a party affiliation. So whatever you do today you're not going to have to live with it the rest of your life. You only have to live with it till the next time you re-register.
An American Independent Party, just to be clear, does not mean you're independent. That is a specific party with its own, it's a party with its own agenda and policies. It does not mean that you're an independent voter.
Where would you put independent voter?
I don't think you do.
Yeah, you can't. You just say other party maybe or something.
Yeah. Well, or yeah, just leave it blank. Other. You could just say other, specify independent.
Or the next place is no party, none. So
yeah, that would be it.
That would be the best place.
Yes, yes, but do not assume that American Independent Party means you're independent.
Okay, shall we go to the next screen? Oh, they won't let you because you haven't completed it. So I think the main thing that's left now is to sign it. It's critical that you sign this registration form, otherwise it won't be valid. And now that you sign it and then you click to register, if you want to, you don't have to, but you could put that you were helped by San Francisco Peninsula People Power in the place where it says, just did anyone help you with this? It's your choice. So once you sign it and click done, then it will be filed and you will automatically receive a ballot for the November 3rd election. They're going to start mailing those ballots on October 5th. So you would likely not, you probably receive it somewhere around the 10th, which gives you plenty of time to vote. So congratulations, you're a registered voter. And the next thing is to make sure that you educate yourself. Not only will you get your ballot, but you'll get a sample ballot and you'll get information about the propositions. I think there are 12 California propositions, and the candidates that might be running for city council or judgeships or things like that, school board in your particular area. So it takes some time and effort to, at least I find that it does, to educate myself about all the things I'm being asked to vote on. And the other thing to remember is you don't have to vote on everything. You can vote on the things that are important to you. How does not choosing a party affect individual voting? It says you may not vote in the primary. Right, that's the key. So if you want to vote, for instance, if you register either with any one of the parties that were listed there, then when they have a primary to decide between candidates in their own party, which one they're going to put on the final ballot, then you would get to vote. If you say you don't affiliate with a party, you will not be able to vote in that primary. You would only be able to vote in the final election. Is that clear? So as I was saying, it's very important to take the time, or we really encourage you to take the time to educate yourself, because not only do you want to choose the things that are most important to you, but then you want to be able to hold accountable the people that you vote for.
So we've actually got a slide that Ryan can show that has the various voter resources that you can review just to make sure that you're educated about the specific candidates and the propositions. The votersedge.org, and Ryan, I think that's the last slide that has how do you educate yourself about candidates and propositions.
Yeah, that's the Voter Edge.
Okay, that's the Voter's Edge. And as you can see, you can look up the ballots by county. You can see the ballot measures and races for the state of California. And, you know, they're all individual. For the state of California, for example, one of the propositions that you've probably seen a lot of TV ads on is whether workers for Uber and Lyft and DoorDash should be considered contractors rather than employees. So there's been a lot of, you know, lobbying by the various companies for your vote on TV about that. Another one of the propositions, you know, is whether 17-year-olds should be allowed to vote. So do you have 17-year-old siblings? Do you think they should be allowed to vote? And yet another proposition talks about whether agencies, public agencies and schools should be able to consider diversity in their choices for recruiting or who gets into what schools. So as you can see, these are questions about various taxes are all ones that affect you personally. There's also the CaliforniaVotes.org website, and that was on that one sheet. Yes, this is the League of Women Voters. And so this shows the pros and cons of the ballot measures online, you know, all the ones that I talked about. And that's in 5 languages: Spanish, Chinese, Korean, Vietnamese, and English. And moreover, the League of Women Voters will host a virtual candidate forum at the San Bruno Senior Center on Tuesday, October 1 at 7 p.m. And that will be advertised live at 7 p.m. also on San Bruno Cable Channel 1. So, you know, that should be interesting. And then I also put in the SMC, San Mateo County information. That's smcacre.org, that has information on cities and school measures, as well as, again, from the county, just information on state measures. So amongst all these various resources, plus of course your actual ballot that goes through that in even more detail and talks about the fiscal impact of the various measures that are projected by the state and the county. That's how, you know, we can, you know, educate ourselves and decide who it is we want to, what it is we want to vote for, which candidates we want to vote for. So in addition, of course, to the president and the vice president, we're going to have, senators and state senators, assembly people, and other local officials to vote for. So, lots of interesting things to consider, especially for first-time voters, but actually for all voters. We should yes, we should just make ourselves aware of what's happening all around us, and what we want to make our voices heard most of all.
So in San Mateo County, we're really fortunate because this is the third year that the county has followed the procedures that I'm about to outline about how you vote. So you're going to get the ballot in the mail, and you're going to complete it whenever you're ready to complete it. We urge you to complete it early, just because then it'll be in. We've all heard all the commotion, discussion about whether voting's going to be legitimate or not. Well, in San Mateo County, we have 3 years of experience of what we call more days, more ways. So you can start voting as soon as you get your ballot. So October 5th, there are 3 vote centers open around the county. That information can be found on smcvote.org.
And this is really a great website. If you have, it answers so many questions. So I just commend this website.
Yeah, it is a very good website. And so there are 3 ways we can vote in San Mateo County. We can vote by mail. So you just vote. The most important thing is when you fill out your ballot, be sure to sign the envelope. So the ballot itself doesn't need to be signed, but you check all the things you want to check. You put it in the envelope, and then you need to sign the envelope. If you don't sign the envelope, your ballot won't be valid. So you sign the envelope. You can either put it in a mailbox. It's a postage paid envelope. You put it in the mailbox. It'll go to the election center. Or you can put it in what we call a drop box. A drop box looks like a mailbox. It's the same shape and so forth, but it has red, white, and blue. It's clear it's about voting. It says voting drop box. And there are 45 of those around the county. And you can put them in there and it'll go directly to the elections office. It doesn't need to go through the postal system. Or, of course, you can go to a voting center. And there are 45 voting centers that are open from the 31st of October through Election Day, November 3rd, including one at Skyline College in the Fairlawn Room, a building, is it 12? Let's see.
Yeah, I have it on the screen right here. Skyline
great.
College, Building 12, Fairlawn.
Yeah, building 12. So that's very convenient except that you're not on campus, so you'll find them near your home. The good news is you can vote at any vote center or put it in any drop box. It doesn't have to be in your district or your county. I mean, it has to be in your county, but not in your neighborhood. It can be where you work or where you go out to eat or your family or wherever. So all of that information is on this website. So I'm not going to go through it all, but then there's one cool feature, and that is, if you're interested, is you can go to smcvote.org and you can click on Track My Vote. And it'll tell you on any given day where your ballot is. So it'll show when you dropped it and where you dropped it. And it'll show when it got to the elections office and when it got counted and so forth and so on. So I think that's kind of a cool feature. Anyway, that's how you vote. Are there any questions about that?
Then this is what she was speaking about of what's on your ballot and all that. Here's the vote.
Right, right. Then there is a slide that we sent just right before this meeting started, Ryan, that has all of the websites on one slide. Did you see that?
Yes, Zoom is not letting me share Word for some reason.
Oh,
Let me take a look and see. Oh, here we go. Okay.
I was thinking if anybody wants to take a picture of that screen, you'd have all the
Right.
websites in one place.
Go.
So, any questions, comments, concerns? Well, I tell you about one other thing, one other opportunity to earn. Yeah.
Sorry, I do want to emphasize just sort of what Kit said about making sure to sign, because in the last election, there were a fair number of ballots that were rejected from young people because they were late or because people didn't sign them. So those were sort of the two main reasons why ballots could be rejected. So really underscore, make sure to sign and get them in on time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I wanted to thank you, Charmaine. This is really important information. I wanted to tell you about one other opportunity to earn some money, to learn more about the election process, which will strengthen our democracy. The more people that participate in the election process, both by voting, but also by working at the vote centers. There are several ways you can apply to be a vote center worker, or you can be a vote center volunteer. If you're a vote center worker, there's a process. You have to apply and there's a background check. If you're a volunteer, you don't need that. And you don't need even to be a citizen to do that. You can be a permanent resident and be able to participate in that way. And there is a stipend, whether you're a worker or a volunteer. The stipends are different, but you do get paid even as a volunteer. And then there's a program called Student Democracy Program that is actually only for high school students. But if you have any siblings or friends that are high school students and you think would be interested, it's just a great way to start, understanding and getting involved. And you don't have to be 18 or a citizen. So check that out at smcvote.org/student. You'll see, I think there are 4 different categories of opportunities on the left-hand side. So do you have anything else you want to add, Charmaine? I think we covered everything we meant to cover here.
Well, we have a personal challenge, and that is, please, please, please get 5 of your friends, your relatives, your neighbors, talk to them and have them register and vote, really vote. So thank you for your help in just making sure our voices are all heard. It's just a critical role you're playing by registering and voting. Thanks.
And your opinion's really important, as Charmaine said at the outset. More older voters vote than young voters, and young voters are the ones that are going to live with the consequences of these elections for longer than, for instance, I am. So,
yeah, you guys have to get in there. We're really looking to you as the future and and the hope, because you're going to have to live with the consequences. I mean, we look around at climate change and what's happening. So today of all days with this air quality. So you're, who we're counting on. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's just really a wonderful opportunity to be here with you. And thanks again, Ryan, for all your support.
Thanks.
Oh, here's a question. Given the current situation, would you recommend, I can't see the rest of the comment here, wait. Oh, recommend mailing the ballots back earlier than usual. Well, I just recommend early. I mean, as soon as you get it and do the homework that you want to do in order to vote the way you know, to understand what you're voting for, I would say, yeah, vote as soon as you can.
Right.
And I actually think putting it in a drop box is preferable to the mailbox, just because of all this talk about the mail, you know, whether it's true or not, who knows, but the drop box just ensures that it goes directly to the elections office.
One
Oh,
thing,
and you said you want to know as soon as possible after I register. Well, sure, that you're registering today, which is September 11. The ballots will be mailed on October 5th, so you'll probably get it sometime between then and the 10th. And yeah, I would encourage you to vote early. What would be the address if we decide to mention who helped us? Oh, let's see. I'm going to put my glasses on and I can tell you that.
and while she's doing that, I did want to say that if you want to go to the vote centers, they do have, you know, the usual safety precautions about everybody wearing a mask and social distancing and sanitizers. So, you know, there is that, there are those precautions. Also, as far as just the security of our ballots and our mail-in ballots, I mean, as Kit has said, California really has had a lot of excellent experience. I've seen how the San Mateo County Elections Office just tracks everything really carefully, and the process is, you know, secure as far as the mail-in ballots. So, but I think dropping it into a drop box or mailing it early just adds extra, you know, safety.
So you asked about the address. You can just put Emerald Hills, California. That's 2 words, Emerald, like the stone, and Hills, California. Any other questions? Well, I think that's it. And thank you again for this dry run, and any feedback you have either now or to Ryan or Alvin will be very helpful to us, because we will be doing live registrations starting next Wednesday, every weekday through September 22nd. So it'll be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then following week, Monday, week, and Tuesday. So talk it up with anybody, anybody you run into, if they want some support around how to register. We'll be here. Thank you.